Hello, welcome to another episode of Tajes Therapeutic Talks. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. And today I have my mom with me, Toney Toney. And today we will be talking about starting a new year and vision boards. So, how are you feeling so far in
I'm
this new
feeling good
year?
so far this year. We talked about some goals, some plans. We actually had a power meeting in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night we had a vision board party, which was
Mm-hmm.
excellent. I'd suggest that if you can do that with your friends and your family, try to do that. It really sets the tone for the new year.
Yeah, definitely. And this is usually the time of year where people start reflecting on themselves and what they want for the upcoming year. So that's kind of like what we started the year off with, that power meeting and then doing the vision boards. And one thing I like to ask, or questions I like to ask, are what are some things you will want to leave in 2023, and what are some things you want to bring into 2024 with you?
The first thing I want to leave in 2023 is doubt and
Mm,
fear.
doubt.
I want to be fearless in 2024. I want to not think too much about what I want to do, and I just want to
Mm-hmm.
do it. I just want to live without so much doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think when we set goals for ourselves, we already have this. I'm not sure if I can do it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work out, I'll do it again.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And what are something? What was your favorite memory of last year? Well, if you was to pinpoint one favorite memory of last year, what would it be?
One of the best days of last year was when you turned 30 and we
Mm-hmm.
got to celebrate your graduation party and your
Mm-hmm.
birthday party in one. It was like a release of everything that we went through,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a celebration where we brought our family and friends together. We got all dressed up, and it
Mm-hmm.
was just like that was one of the best days. I can't describe how excited I was that we made it to that party,
Mm-hmm.
and my baby was turning 30,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just so much to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was definitely my favorite memory. I felt like it was a lot of planning up to that point,
Right.
and I felt like all of 2022 that was graduating, and then it was preparing for this party. So I felt, and that started it started last year, 2023. That was the beginning of the year. So it was a good way to start the year, and I felt like it set the tone for the rest of the year. So I felt like last year we yeah, we definitely got to celebrate. It was good that all my people came to celebrate, and that was one of my favorite memories. Everyone looked good, felt good. We enjoyed ourselves, so that was a nice memory. And one thing I think I want to leave in last year is kind of like what you said, is that self doubt, like just not being scared to do things. I want to, like, doing this podcast, I don't like speaking in front of people, so that's one thing I want to work on, is being able to speak to people and present and that type of thing. So that's what I'm going to work on.
So, what do you want to bring with you into 2024?
So I want to bring with me into 2024 are my relationships. I feel like this year, my good relationships. So
Right.
all my positive relationships, my family. I felt like I've connected and built relationships with friends, family, and I want to continue that next year. And yeah, I want to bring my relationships, and I want to bring my work ethic. I want to keep working, but working harder and being able to, put in work this year. That's like my main thing this year.
Yeah, what we talked about during our power meeting
Mhm.
is consistency and self discipline.
Mhm.
And that is going towards everything, like, being consistent in
Mhm.
what we start, trying to finish it this year. I definitely want us to be more disciplined in every aspect of our life, whether when it
Mhm.
comes to work, when it comes to our health, when it
Mhm.
comes to relationships, finding the time and focusing on our people
Mhm.
and making sure that we find the time to do everything. Like yesterday, we had such a busy day,
Mhm.
but we fit it all in.
Yeah.
And today, we starting our day working, and we have a lot of things to do, and still find time to have time for ourselves.
Mhm.
And that is being disciplined.
Yeah.
We have our planners. We want to start making some more entries into our journals. We want to reflect a little bit more. And this time, I want us to actually look at our vision boards, which we'll talk about in a minute, and actually live in it. So,
yeah. And when I think of the vision board, what you said, consistency and self-discipline, those are my two main things this year. That's what I want to work on, being consistent with my goals and the steps to get to those goals. And the self-discipline part, I could be self-disciplined in some things, but when it comes to certain things, I need to work on it. So I'm really going to try to work on that this year. And with this vision board, I feel like it shows me where I want to be by the end of next year. So I know if I take the consistency and the self-discipline, it will get me there. So that's what will keep me going, because I know what I want for the end of this year. So I got to be consistent and disciplined to do that.
well, looking at your vision board that we worked on yesterday, what are 3 things that stand out to you the most?
What stands out to me the most, I would say the money part. Like, I want this to be my money year. Like, I need to save. I need to be disciplined with money. I need to be consistent with getting money this year. So that's like my big goal. And to go along with that, like building my tea fell off, but building my business, Therapeutic Talks LLC. And it says here, just a girl boss building her empire, really building my business and my empire. So those are my 2 things that stand out. And my relationships are important. So those are the main things. But this part, I shy away from it. The healthy part, that's one of my main things I want to work on. And that's where the consistency and self-discipline is going to come in. And if all this, you said 3.
It's okay. Keep going.
But if all this comes together, then I want to treat myself to the vacations. If I work hard, I could play hard. So that's kind of what I see for myself coming up this year.
Where do you want to go on vacation this year?
Well, I'm going to Dominican Republic before I start the self-discipline and consistency. So I'm celebrating for my birthday I'm starting the year relaxing and enjoying myself on an island. But this year, I think we talked about going to Jamaica. That's where your family's from, and my dad's never been, so that's a place we want to go as a family. So I'm looking forward to that. And where do I want to go? If I could go to Africa or like Thailand or Dubai, like those are the places,
Those are the 3 places
I would love to try to go this year. What about for your vision? What do you have?
Well, my vision board, I'm focusing on feeling good this year. I want to be more optimistic. I wrote myself a big fat check. I'm going to get paid this year. I already worked on, during my power meeting, I said to be successful, you need more than one source of income. So I already have 3, and I'm excited about that. I work in the hospital. I work for Therapeutic Talks LLC. And I'm going to be working at a mental health clinic where I'm just going to use that as a tool to help me learn the business, build the business, learn more about billing. So God kind of like threw that in my lap, and I'm going to fit that into my schedule. One of the things that really important to me this year is about learning to let go. I used to hold on to things that I don't need, so I'm letting go of what I don't need and keeping what I need. So that's one thing I want to do. I want to focus on feeling good. I do have my Africa here. I don't know if I'm going to get there this year, but I'm going to make enough money that if I don't go this year, I'm going next year. I want to have a stronger foundation, and I'm going to invest in myself. A lot of times I've invested in other people, and now if I feel like if my cup is full, I can actually give some people something to work on for themselves. So this year's it's just about being more creative, feeling good about myself, living in the light. And this is one of my favorite things that I put on my vision board. I'm going to do something every day that gets me where I want to be tomorrow. And that is one of the things that I'm going to do. And that takes, again, what we're talking about, the discipline and work. and just being at peace, being at peace with whatever we decide to do, being at peace if I do make a mistake. It's okay. We're not perfect, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, definitely. And this is also the time of year where people look into going to a therapist. I think when people reflect on where they want to be within the next year, they want to work on themselves mentally, physically, emotionally. So this is definitely a time where people start, looking for a therapist and wanting that support and that guidance. So that's when people will start calling for a therapist like me, and seeing what type of services I provide. So
what are the type of services you provide? Like if I wanted to use you as a therapist, what are one of the main things that you think I would leave with after a session with you?
One of the main things I think you will leave from a session with me, I feel like you would have more self-awareness about what you want for yourself, what your goals are for yourself, what steps you would have to take to get to where you want to be, and self-awareness, and kind of knowing like where you want to go. And as a therapist, I would want to know like what am I helping you with, and what is our journey going to be together. So I would feel like it would be some self-awareness, because that first meeting is usually, I want to know your family history, like all your history, and kind of get to know who you are and everything that brought you to what your goals are today. So that's kind of what.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about that, because a lot of people think that a therapist is just going to just dig in and find all the bad things. And that's one thing I tell people. It's not really finding just bad things. It's about finding everything and what makes you work and what makes you feel better. I know for me, with my therapist, we talk a lot about positive reinforcement, and she asks great questions that sometimes I have to not answer right away, because she gives me time to think about it. And I like that about her. And I think that people should understand that with therapy, it's not just to talk about bad things. It's to make you stronger, better, and learn how to deal with life situations. And I love that about my therapist.
Yeah, you sound like you have an amazing therapist.
I do.
You do.
I do.
Yeah.
I really do. So,
yeah.
Some people are surprised when they say you go to therapy. I do. I like therapy just because sometimes, how much can I talk to you and Daddy? I need somebody to talk to that's actually listening to me, cares about what I say. And not that you guys don't, but everybody has their own things going on, and I don't want to push my stuff on you all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need to talk about you and Daddy, and it's okay. And it's not that I need to talk anything bad. I was just like, I want to make sure that when I approach a situation, I'm approaching it correctly.
Yeah.
That we can actually have a conversation instead of an altercation.
Yeah, I like that. And that's what therapy is for. It's a safe space to talk about everything going on in your life, and you have a person there that's there to help and guide and support you through whatever you're going through in life. So I like that.
Yes.
You have that type of environment that you could go to, and you get something out of it. Definitely.
And I really love that last night when we did our vision board party, I was surrounded by my best friend and my daughter, your godmother. She's been there since day one, and we're still here building and talking about years spent together. It was nice. She cooked for us. We had some nice drinks. It was excellent. Like she's very detail oriented, and she's a planner, so she had everything set up for us. And we had a great time, and I hope that more people do that.
Yeah. I like what we did, because life is so busy. We're together a lot. But with Godmommy, we don't get to see her.
We're not together a lot.
We
have a life.
We have our own lives. But with Godmommy, I don't get to see her as much, because, she has a life. She has. So it was nice to spend that time with y'all two. And we got that quality time. We got to talk and catch up and plan what we want for the futures together. So that was really nice.
I woke up to a really nice text from her this morning. And she just thanked us for our time. She said said, we need to do it more often. Not do a vision board every time we get together, but just take some time to sit and just catch up. Because she's so busy, we're busy, and one thing I love about my best friend is she appreciates time. So I'm glad that we did that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.
So get your visions together.
Yeah, get your visions together. And one question you had asked me is, what type of therapist am I? So, because I know people know I do therapy, but they don't know what kind of therapist I am. So one thing is that I see individuals, I see couples, I see families. And with individuals, I'm a person-centered. I use different modalities. So I'm like a person-centered therapist who uses solution-focused and narrative. And what that means is, with person-centered, it's I help my clients find the solutions to their own issues or problems that come up, and kind of ask them what their challenges are and their difficulties and their feelings are about what gets in the way of them solving their problems. And when I use solution focused, it's more strengths. I look at my clients' strengths and try to bring that towards their goals, and then like exceptions. So what did work for you, what didn't work for you, scaling, kind of asking them like how they're feeling from 0 to 10, and then how can we get to get that number up, or even a miracle question. So that's when I use solution focus. And then the narrative part, that's I like to know people's histories and their stories. So with that, I like to hear what got them to where they are today and what kind of narrative they would want for the future, and help guide them to that point. So that's kind of what I do for individuals. And then when I work with couples, I'm a family systems therapist, and I use emotionally focused therapy. So I like to look at family history and looking at patterns and kind of what made you into the person you are today, and how does that affect your everyday life. And then emotionally focused with couples, it's like I'll identify emotions with them and what the destructive patterns are, and how we could create new patterns in the relationship. So that's kind of what I do.
Okay.
And I know I don't explain a lot what I do, but that's kind of a...
Well, you just taught me a couple of things, because,
yeah.
In my eyes, I see you go into session and you come back out and you just, HIPAA, we can't talk about what you do. So it was nice to say, oh, that's what you're doing with your couples or your family. And I know that sometimes you get a lot of kickback because you are young, but you're so experienced and knowledgeable. And people tell me when they have a conversation with you, they're like, your daughter's so mature. I'm like, she is very mature, but she's very good at what she does. I know you're good at what you do, because clients do reschedule with you, and they're always very happy that they got to meet you, and they're always happy to book another session with you, and I really admire that. But I don't know what you do in your session, so that's good. And I think that when people are choosing a therapist, they have to just have that conversation with you. And I think every time you have that conversation with people, they really are happy that they did do that. So I'm glad you explained that to me, because I really didn't know.
Yeah.
So,
yes. So thank you for listening to our podcast for today and being a part of Tajes Therapeutic Talks. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you would like more information about my style of therapy or what I do, or interested in any type of services I provide, you can go to my website at therapeutictalksllc.com. And I look forward to talking to you all in the next episode. And I hope you take away something from this conversation today.